Hello everybody, Michael here for Tactica Imperialis with part 2 of my analysis of Codex Dark Eldar, looking at the remaining part of the HQ section. There are 4, possibly 3, depends on how you interpret it in this section. So let's start with the Archon. He is weapon skill, ballistic skill 7, strength and toughness 3, 3 wounds, initiative 7, 4 attacks, leadership 10 and a 5+ armor save. Carbonite armor, close combat weapons, splinter pistol and plasma grenades, so pretty basic. Fleet, night vision, power from pain, independent character. He costs 60 points with this, and you can upgrade him pretty extensively actually. You can swap his melee weapon or his pistol with these weapons. The Venom Blade, this is a melee weapon which is poisoned on a 2+. A blast pistol is strength 8 AP2 lance pistol. A power weapon, a blaster, which is a slightly longer ranged version of the blast pistol and is assault 1 and 2-handed I believe. A Agonizer is a power weapon and always wounds on a 4+. A Electro-Corrosive Whip is also a power weapon, but if a model is wounded by the Electro-Corrosive Whip, they are at half strength for the remainder of the melee phase. The most expensive and arguably the most powerful is obviously the Husk Blade. This is a power weapon that causes instant death, so it's very good at character killing. It makes an Archon a very good combat monster in this setup. He may take haywire grenades, which are as normal in the rulebook. Ghostplate armor, I would recommend this just because no matter what you take, a 4+ armor and a 6+ invulnerable, you can't really go that far wrong. Combat drugs, this is up to you if you want them. I don't know, I mean, there's nothing to lose by them, so I can't see why not. Soul Trap, this is quite useful. If you kill a character or monstrous creature in melee, you can pass the leadership test, and if you do, you become double strength the rest of the game. So this obviously combines very well with the Husk Blade because you can just instant death a character and become double strength. Strength 6 and able to kill things a lot more easily. I think it's only one use though. A Jinn Blade, as I believe it's pronounced, gives you 2 attacks, but you have to roll them separately. If you score a double, then they attack you. Those 2 attacks are resolved against you. It is also a power weapon, so this can cause you some serious harm. A Clone Field, 20 points, and this allows you to negate D3 hits per turn. I believe they're only in melee, but it could be from shooting as well. So choose wisely which hits you choose to nullify. A Phantasm Grenade Launcher gives you both assault grenades, so frag grenades basically, and defensive grenades for when being charged. A Shadow Field I explained in my unique HQ video. Basically what it does, it gives you a 2+ invulnerable save until you fail it, and then you have no invulnerable save. You cannot have both Shadow and a Clone Field because that would just be weird and slightly OP. The Webway Portal, this is a cool little trick. What it does is you place a small blast marker or equivalently sized marker, and from that point, reserves can arrive from the portal instead of your board edge, which could be anywhere. So this allows you to get your melee units up close and personal and your short range units up close and personal without having to run across the board. You can then take a Court of the Archon, which is similar to Command Squad, for every Archon, including Vex and Malice, because they are Archons as well. And they are the Medusae, which is 4-4-3-3-1-5-1-9-5+, and is armed with a Eye Burst weapon. What this does is it fires a Flamer template, strength D6+1, AP D6, Flamer. He has power from pain and carbonite armor. A Urgle. Weapon skill 4, ballistic skill 0, strength 4, toughness 3, 1 wound, initiative 5, 3 attacks, but only leadership 3 and no armor save. They cost 15 points. They have feel no pain and furious charge, so they can both take damage and cause it as well because of their feel no pain and furious charge. For 10 points, you can take a Larmian. On their own, not very good. They have a poisoned melee weapon and a splinter pistol, but they give your Archon poison 2+ on all his weapons. I believe it's both shooting and assault, meaning that he can become very good at killing stuff very quickly. So be aware of this because it's very powerful. And a Slith is 35 points, 4-4, 5-5, 2-4, 3-3, 5+. So bad leadership, but very good at taking wounds and dealing damage. It has a Shard Carbine, which is poison 4+, 3 shots, AP 5 with an 18-inch range, splinter pistol just in case, carbonite armor, melee weapon, and feel no pain. So it basically has a free pain token to start with. So it's pretty useful, and the whole court can be quite useful. I believe the Archon has to stay with them. Well, I would anyway, just because the Slith can take the wounds, the Urgle can help damage, the Medusa can whittle down ranks, and the Larmian is just there, really. You may take a Razor or Venom, which have transport capacities of 10 and 6 respectively, so beware of the squad size if you wish to run one of these. Then we have the Succubus of the White or Witch Cults. She is 65 points, because they usually are she, and our Weapon Skill 8, BS 6, Strength Toughness 3, 3 wounds, Initiative 8, 4 attacks, Leadership 9 and 6+ save. So faster and better in melee, but less good at shooting than an Archon, but less leadership as well. They have a white suit, which is basically just a 6+ armor save, combat drugs, plasma grenades, close combat weapon, and splinter pistol. She has a dodge of 4+. This only applies in melee. So in melee, she has a 4+ invulnerable save. Otherwise, she's stuck with a rubbishy 6+ armor. So give her a unit, preferably a big one, and stick them in her transport to keep her alive. Or at the very least, you could do hug cover. This is a typical Dark Eldar tactic, by the way. You may take same weapons as before, but less of them. So there's Venom Blade, Power Weapon, Agonizer, and the ECWs, I'm going to call it. You may take Hydra Gauntlets. These are a witch weapon, and they give you plus d6 attacks. Instead of the +1 for having 2 close combat weapons, you roll d6 instead. Shard Net and Impaler, 2 close combat weapons, and all models in base-to-base contact with the Succubus now have -1 attack, to a minimum of 1. Razor Flails are 2 close combat weapons and +1 attack, and rerolls to hit and rerolls to wound because they are basically impossible to block. So yeah, you don't get any armor cracking power like you would with a Venom Blade, or a Power Weapon, sorry, but you get a lot more chance of making your attacks land. Obviously, you can only take one of those 3, and if you do, you can't take any of the others. If you don't take one of those 3, you can take a Blast Pistol. I would recommend this just because I'd rather have a Strength 8 AP2 pistol that can potentially hurt tanks instead of a Poison Pistol. And Haywire Grenades, again, these are something I consider an auto take for 5 points, really, because it gives you a tank threat alongside with everything else you've got. Then you have the Haemonculi, or Haemonculus. The Ancient is 80 points and the Regular is 50. You can take up to 3 Haemonculi per HQ slot. Only one may be an Ancient. Now, the Ancient is Weapon Skill, Ballistic Skill 5, Strength 3, Toughness 4, 3 wounds, Initiative 5, 3 attacks, Leadership 9 and a 6+ save. So not a bad stat line. The regular one is 30 points less, but for that you lose a Weapon Skill, you lose a Ballistic Skill, you lose a wound, you lose an Initiative, you lose an attack, and you lose a Leadership. So he becomes less of a Warlord if you just run a basic Haemonculus. Regardless of which one you do take, or both, Racks are troops, which are an elite choice which I'm coming onto in another video. They all have altered physique, so they all have a pain token and feel no pain to start with, which helps negate that rubbishy 6+ armor. Now these guys have even more weapons than an Archon to pick from. They have a Venom Blade, a Stinger Pistol. A Stinger Pistol is a Poison 2+ pistol weapon. Power Weapon, Mind Phase Gauntlet. If you cause a hit on a model or in melee, they must take a Strength or Leadership test. No, sorry, Strength and Leadership test per hit, and if they fail any of those tests, they cannot attack. A Flesh Gauntlet is Poison 4+ and causes instant death. An Agonizer and Extra Corrosive Whip and Huskblade I've already explained. For each Haemonculi, you may take up to 2 of these pieces of wargear. Most of them are single take only, so some of them you can only have 1 per army. The Animus Vitae, a leadership test. If the Haemonculus kills somebody, he may take a leadership test, and if he does, he gains a pain token. Easy. Casket of Flame, something I'm touched upon with Yuri and Ricard. 12-inch range, strength D6, AP D6, 2d6 shots, 1 use only, so very random but potentially very deadly. A Liquefier Gun, strength 4, AP D6, Flamer. Soul Trap, I mentioned about doubling strength if you kill a character. A Vexator Mask. Models in melee with the Haemonculus must take a leadership test or cannot attack. A Scissor Hand is Poison 3+ and gives him +1 attack. A Archangel of Pain. I don't have it written down here. I'm just going to go to the Haemonculus entry. I wrote all things down just there in my scrawly little handwriting, and I forgot to write this one down. So an Archangel of Pain, all enemy units within 3d6 inches must pass the leadership test or have their weapon skill and initiative reduced to 1 until the end of the turn. So it's basically similar to blind. It's only 1 use and you can't shoot when you do it. The Hex Rifle is Sniper, AP4, 36-inch range. If it causes a wound, the wounded model must take a wounds test. So they roll a d6 against their starting wounds, not the wounds they're on, the starting wounds. If they fail it, they're dead. Easy. Shatter Shard is a Flamer template, one use only. Any model under the Flamer template must take a toughness test or die. Simple. I don't think you get reanimation protocols against it because it says no saves of any kind. A Crucible of Malediction. This is one use only and is a great anti-psycho weapon. All psychers within 3d6 inches of the user must take a leadership test or die. Easy. An Orb of Despair. Strength 10 AP 1, small blast, 6-inch range, one shot only, and it's against leadership. So, slow leadership ones it's better. Against high leadership ones like Crons or other things, it's not so good. A Dark Gate. 12-inch range, strength 10 AP, nothing, large blast, one use only. So, pretty powerful again, and then the Webway portal, which I already touched upon. There are no more unnamed HQs. Nope, that's elites. So, they're the various HQs available to you. The most common and useful is the Archon, because he can do a bit of everything, some powerful melee weapons, and some powerful boosts to himself, and a very useful stat line. Just beware, again, toughness 3, bad armor save, likely to get shot. The Court, I can see it being useful. I mean, the Slith is a good wounds tanker. The Urgol is quite a nice little killer. The Medusa is great at killing hordes or potentially even highly armored units depending on your AP roll. And the Lamian is just a good buff to the Archon for 10 points. A Succubus needs a transport or cover and a unit to go in, otherwise she will get shot down. Although she can take some pretty nasty war gear. So I would quite think Razor Flails are a good take for 10 points. If not, perhaps something like an Agonizer and a Blast Pistol. And always Haywire Grenades, if you ask me. Haemonculi, these guys are the wackiest of them all. Bear in mind that taking Rax as troop choices means you've got something tougher in the troop section. These wargears are just crazy. I haven't run, well, any of them. I'm not a Dark Eldar player. I haven't played with a Dark Eldar. These are just my opinions. So, I think some of them are quite cool. One of my favourites would probably be the Hex Rifle and the Animus Vitae. So, those two are pretty good. And the Soul Trap, of course. So, it's up to you and just take what suits you. I mean, if you prefer named characters, like from part 1, take those. If not, take these. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, comment to welcome. Thank you for watching. My name is Michael, and I will see you again.